Speech. It works. Hey guys. Look at all these icons. That's literally from yesterday. Fun. Let's open this. Gonna let it simmer for a sec, because if I say, oh, there it is already. Wow, this is rare. It's usually not that fast. We got audio. We got tacos. That's right. That's right, we do. Is that me? Where was that from? No, it wasn't me. Okay. We got an Enclave that we're going to be doing. Everything with the windshield, just like yesterday. Gonna start with taping some seals. Do you think we need to, though? No, we definitely don't. Are we? Yes. Why? I don't know. Habits. Wow, that was fun. I don't know why that tore. Oh, because there's a little thing there. Let me make sure my audio's here. It's your #1 YouTube student. What's up? Just letting you know we finished best of 2025. Best of what? What'd you do? Maybe the left side is going to disconnect. We might have a problem with that. Trying to... Why? What? Oh, I feel like I had this issue before, and I'm trying to remember how I fixed it. Let's just put both ears in. Let's try that. Good? I think so. We finished best tint shop in 2025 on Business Rated. Oh, hell yeah, that's awesome. Congrats, man. That's sick. From YouTube? That's not possible. You can't teach people on YouTube. I'm having audio, and I'm trying to I don't know why. My headphones, they keep disconnecting. And now my, what the heck is going on? Hang on, camera froze. Dude, today's funny. Let's try it again. We'll get it figured out. Oh, I bet I know what's going on too. That's definitely, I think it's connecting to phones, because there's somehow audio getting picked up, so it's not sticking on the headphones. All right, we're gonna run with this for a minute and then see if this works. Yes, we are doing the Buick all the way around. 15 on all the sides in the rear. 35 on the windshield. I should write that down. I just never forget that. I know it's simpler though. But if I actually talk to like the customer and ask shades and whatnot, I feel like I should write it down, like a waiter, right? It's like, I'll remember it, no problem. Is that what this does? Dude, I'm just... Alright, let's do this again. Select, activate. We'll leave that. And then cross our fingers that things just work. What products are you gonna use? Tinting ones. Like what film? This is getting GeoShield, carbon. Gonna use some tri-edge squeegees today. Ta-da! Let's turn this on. Hold. You just push and hold it, and then see, it magically kicks on. Any GM, push and hold. So otherwise, the vehicle will only stay on for a little bit of time. Okay, is this like an auto wiper thing? Or is this a wipers on thing? I think we should be good. The new wax squeegees, yes. I really like those. Well, we just found out how the lettering starts to come off. Aww. They're super nice. They came out with their pros blades. And my favorite squeegees for a long time, hybrid, and then the Blue Max came out, and I'm like, I like both. I like both a lot. Blue Max a little more on the windshield when I'm squeegeeing out water. Hybrid a little bit more on the doors because I like just the material and the hardness of it for that. But small differences. Both of them super nice. The wax blades are more similar. They're a cast squeegee. They're more similar to the Blue Max and the hybrid. Sound is coming out. It's supposed to be here. Tri-edge is kick-ass. Alright, what do we gotta do here? I'm confused. So, like, there's the window, right? Activate source. There it is. And then... I don't know. I'm supposed to be hearing stuff and I'm just not. And I don't know why yet. Maybe we just gotta switch it. Mac Mini and then back here. Sometimes that fixes it too. Do they last longer? They're really new. It's hard for me to say if they're gonna last definitively like longer and everything. So little things, right? Like the top, like if you push too hard against the top edge, are you gonna start to get a nick? I don't have one yet. And then just how they generally wear. They've told me the testing that they've done Um, it's lasted longer than the hybrid, and so I'm just playing around with that. So far, they're like, dude, I love the new wax series though. It's really really good. So if you like the hybrids, if you like the Blue Max, they're super nice. The hardnesses seems to be a little bit of a tweener. So they have like an orange one. It feels like a little softer than the like it's in between like a pink clean and a blue max. It's more in line with like what a pink clean would be. The the blue one that I have here is not the same hardness as the blue max. It's a little bit softer than that. And then same thing for their hardest one. Still a little bit harder or a little bit softer than like a flat out or something like that. Are you using to run your software a laptop, a PC? I have a cheap PC hooked up to it. I'm probably gonna set up one of the Mac Minis on it eventually. I'm so used to plotter software needing Windows, but with Core and a GraphTech, like Core's good on Mac. Some of the other ones are good on Mac too, depending on the machine that you have. But I had a Workhorse 1 and 2, and those we couldn't get working with a Mac. But we shouldn't have any problems with the GraphTech, so that's why I've got a Windows PC there right now, because I just like left it. I'll show you though, it's just a little box. For plotter software, you really don't need anything advanced. I'm going tint off. Would love to meet you. I'd be super cool to meet you. And anybody else that goes out there, I'm not. Is that the Texas one this year? Yes, the pink fuchsia would be more similar to the Blue Max. Yeah. Let me grab them. And let me just grab a new one right here. Yeah. This one, I would compare these two together. They're similar. You got a similar type of feel between the two of these. And then with this one, it's hard to say because like Orange Crush is a popular favorite. This is almost like right in line with an Orange Crush. It's definitely not like flat out hardness. Yeah, it's softer than that. But these are injection molded, so these have a different feel to them. This is more like a hybrid. And then the orange one, we're going pretty soft on this. Probably like a pink clean. No, it's harder than the pink clean. Definitely softer than Orange Crush. So I mean, like, it's kind of in between. What do we have? We have this black one. I'd say it's more similar to that. Yeah, this one's softer. The black PPF one, it's probably a little bit more harder than that. So, super nice squeegee blades. Definitely check them out. I think they're well worth it. If you like a Blue Max or the hybrid, which has been my favorites for a while, you're really gonna like the Wax series. I'm done with Fusion. My redline extractor just leaves rubber streaks everywhere. I would pick up one of each and just see. And then, like, give me your feedback on those. Because, like, I was never a huge fan of the redline, but the redline was genuinely supposed to be, like, an alternative to the OG Blue Max, but it just wasn't. And it's hard to say exactly why. There's durometer, and then there's the material that it's actually made out of, and there's just subtle little differences in materials and processes. So, biggest difference is injection molded versus cast squeegees. I just prefer cast squeegees, apparently. I didn't know that, but I do. But that makes sense why hybrid, Blue Max, those have been my favorites. So we're gonna do 15%. We still got a fair amount on this. So let's get started. This is a 40. Do you think we can cut this in half, or do you think we're gonna be screwed if we do this? I think it'll work. I think we can get both of them. Oh. No. I'm gonna grab the other roll. I remember this roll. We should put this in the class. I think it was a class roll at some point. We'll do a 36 and we'll do it sideways. That had like an indent going through it. We've gotten some films mixed up between class film and everyday film, and it's not that the class film is inherently bad, but they can have rolls that get rejected, and so we'll get some of those. And because of the class, same film, just we end up scrapping a lot of film for that. Trying to figure out what's up with my headset though. This is driving me nuts. It was working. Let me just see if I play audio. Let's just play a video, and then I should be able to hear something. Hey, I'll play my video. Nope, I don't hear anything. Oh, that's why. Alright, we're gonna turn these off. Close. We're gonna give it a fresh reconnect. Now I hear it. Okay, so we should be good now. Minus, Dude, Bluetooth was off. Why did it do that? That's so silly. I like my headphones. Morning. It's a great day. Welcome to Michigan. All right, there we go. Yeah, it's just depressing. Oh yeah, headphones definitely work now. I'm filling out an exemption form for tinted windows here in New York, and there's a specific something about minimum level of light transmission due to my migraines. What should I have the doctor put down? Good question. Is that basically like the minimum level of tint that you need? Or is that like, can you go darker than that? I guess is the question. I don't always understand wording on forms like that. How dark the film? But can you, if you put that number, can you go darker? Because then you could just write 5. But I haven't seen a tint exemption form ever. No, I would write a lower number and then do the shade that you want to do. And then that way, whatever shade gets put on it, you have tolerance there. Like if you put 30 and then you get 30, it's obviously going to be darker than that. So you want to give yourself a little leeway. But I mean, I would at least put 20. You don't necessarily... Sounds about right. Something that's like, seems reasonable. Or call a tin shop and see what most people put. Yeah. Yeah, do that. Doesn't mean, as long as it doesn't mean like you're rating them the shade that you have to get. I think it's just like down to a certain shade and then get what you feel is practical above that. Did it do it? It did it. Because I have a 15 here. I'll show you. I have a 15 here, and then I have the glass. And if I put a meter on that, the 15 is going to meter darker than 15. Ooh, Mark, do a sync and republish. I switched everything over to conference calling. It's gonna be sick. It scared me, but it didn't seem to break anything. So basically, seamless transitions is is what we're working on right now. So you can be on a phone call, you can press hold, and then you can rejoin that call. Or if somebody else is on a call, it should display subtly in the banner that there's an ongoing call, and then you could join it, or look up the customer, or then if somebody, hey, I need you to take this call, then you just hop over to that call. Yeah. But it was doing it instead of, it was basically doing it like one person to one person and then handing off. This is more creating just a conference call state, yeah, and then hop in, hop out.
Conference calling costs more. It's only.
I asked it. I was looking into that too. And it's like it charges, I think, based on the amount of people that are actively in the call. So if it's just one-on-one person, it's not going to cost you any different. So occasionally you're going to have two people on the line, it's not going to make a difference. Oh no, people. I did this sideways. We gotta make sure we shrink this sideways. And then bad things don't happen. Good. That still looks good. I did it sideways to save a little bit of film. Because 15, I have a 36-inch roll. I should have a 20. 24, but I don't. It's kind of an oddball shade for me. We get way more 20 than we do 15. So I always just have longer rolls available. 36. But on this, I would much rather have a 36. Or a 40 or a, honestly, 20 would be great. Would you also do this for plotter cuts? Yes. Yeah, I'd pull up the patterns. I'd see if I could squeak both of them together normally. Probably not. And then makes sense to just flip it sideways. But it's choice. I either waste a little bit of film and then I have a longer area to shrink, and most of my curve is going to be right in here. So less area to shrink. Can make it a little trickier, is all. I've done it on quite a few. Rams, I'm not a big fan of doing it on. They're a little bit more curvy. The bottom edge is much wider. It's good to just shrink out the bottom. On a Traverse, oh sorry, not a Traverse. This is basically a Traverse, right? Enclave. What happens if that water gets into the door? It does get into the door. But everything's okay. I'm gonna spoil your car for you. Just give me a second. Because there's gonna be water in your door as well. Doesn't even have to be tinted. Where's my... See, oh, it's over on the other side. That's fine. I'll use this. Ooh, that's nice. Swipe the edges. Make sure it's stuck. Roll it up. Now we're gonna tuck it into the seal. Pull that out. Toss that aside. Flush, flush. And then we're gonna pull this seal back, right like that. Tuck that corner in. Go to this side. We can do the same thing. Pull this back. We got a little panel in the way, but we got to drop it down. This is why I really like this shank dealy. Pull that back. Shuffle, shuffle, shuffle. Into the seal. And then you got this. So you gotta just pick this up. See everywhere it's catching, like that. I'm gonna try and keep my hands out of the way. See, we get the little guy right down there. That right there. So this is what makes tucking this part a little bit trickier, right? You just want to maneuver it to flatten it out and get that seal to pop back. And it tucks in. Or just pull the seal. That's an option. Probably. I'm guessing. It's probably an option. I don't do it very often, so I don't know. But it's a Chevy. A Buick. A Buick Chevy. GM. All right. Now let's wipe this down. No door seals were harmed, that's true. We did poke them a little bit though. Are you thinking I'm plotting the windshield or hand cutting it? Definitely hand cut it. They work. But there's, if they don't work, it's so frustrating. So I'm more jaded by other softwares that haven't lined up. Ooh, let me see. Let me see in the back. I got the driver's door cut out, but I was gonna do. It's not hard to hand cut this stuff. So you see, you get this little edge. We would cut here, and then I'd stand there with a light, and I'd trace just on the outside border all the way around, and then I have my pattern. With quarter windows and back windows, you just have more tolerance. This is a 2026. So I'm gonna see what we have. Oh, if that guy that asked about the computer is still here, that's literally the computer that's running software right now. It's like $200 on Amazon. 2026 Buick Enclave. I keep thinking Envision because if I get Buicks, I always get the Envisions. I'm just gonna see how tall these are together. 36. Wow. That's pretty nuts. Is there something that we can do? Nah, I'm just gonna cut out the back doors. Oh, I know what I can do. Because I'm trying to get them together. So if I click on the rear door, Let's delete that. Let's delete that. So this is the passenger door. I can go back to vehicle. I can click on this one, right? And then I can do something like this and just squish it in here. Or I can also take this and turn it sideways. And then I think, look, I can save even more film, but I gotta remember to shrink it on the side. Do platter cut size the window perfect or slightly smaller? They should be slightly, like bigger, like just perfect. How much edge it leaves is random. They should have a normal border, but that's where quality control steps in. Because sometimes it's just not very good. So you'll have some that'll just be wide. You'll have some that'll be too short. You'll have some that'll be too long. Like, why? I don't fucking know. It drives me nuts. That's why I like Core overall. They've been the most consistent. But they're not perfect. All right, I'm gonna do a test phone call. I gotta turn my Bluetooth off here too, and let's see what breaks. Okay, so I'm gonna call the shop right now because I'm gonna try something.
Thanks for calling Detroit Tint Studio. While I connect you to a team member, did you need a vehicle tinted or help with something else?
I just need to talk to somebody.
Got it. You'd like to talk to someone. One moment, connecting you now. They'll be right with you.
Oh, there's the call. That's cool. I gotta fix this. But that's the call, it's caller information, and then I'm gonna try putting them on hold. Hello. Oh, I forgot to update. Hang on. I gotta do this again. I gotta update. Update. Yes. Update and then retry. Open. Let's try this again.
Thanks for calling Detroit Tint Studio. While I connect you to a team member, did you need a vehicle tinted or help with something else?
I just need to talk to somebody.
One moment, connecting you now.
So there's the call. I'm gonna pick it up on my phone. That's all good. That works. If I click pause, it put it on hold. And then it disappeared. So now I can't. No. Okay, we'll fix that. We'll fix that. It's a work in progress. I work on it. In between cars. It's getting close. Seamless phone call transitions from device to device. So you put somebody on hold. Put somebody on hold. And then you could pick up the phone call from another phone, have somebody else answer it. Easy peasy. Okay, so we got to shrink this on this side. How much of a light gap with plotters? There's no good answer. I'd say if a pattern's going to be wrong, it's going to be short somewhere. And where it's going to be short is the biggest question. I have no idea. Because some of them line up perfect. Some of them are a little, and by perfect, I mean they're just the width that you'd appreciate. And then some of them are they're just kind of slim. I want to roll this down. I don't know if I got the top or the bottom. I feel like it's right, but I'm just going to make sure. Oh yeah, it's definitely the other way. Okay, cool. Or is it? That lines up pretty well. No, it's definitely the other way. I had an issue where the sides are short when the window goes down, but I think it's the window is slightly off track. Maybe. Like I said, that's the funny thing about plotters is like quality control on patterns. There is no universal database. Some companies just have pretty poor patterns, which makes it hard for me to recommend. So there are absolutely cases where it can be the vehicle itself, but do not ever take these patterns as a surefire replacement for cutting. You're just monthly subscriptions. The majority of the patterns should be okay. Some software just has better patterns on average than others. And it's a hugely frustrating topic for me. Having a hard time shrinking a Highlander. I seem to always overshrink. Then just try and undershoot it a little bit. Something to keep in mind about film is film holds heat and shrinks a little bit longer. I see that a lot from new people. It's hard to identify the pattern, but we're always looking for the same type of thing. We're looking for little ocean wave pattern to start to form. As soon as you see that, stop shrinking. But some people will continue to shrink even though they see it because they don't really understand what they're looking for. But you'll have all these like vertical fingers, and then you'll see these little sideways horizontal air pockets starting to form, and then if you shrink it too much they get really stretched out and they start getting really sharp. And then you have way too much tension. You're just trying to shrink the film down enough so it'll stretch out flat over the window. But it is a very hard thing to just force yourself to recognize that pattern. Still using core? Yep. Till something better comes along. I haven't personally seen anything yet. But it's expensive, man. It takes serious money to put out decent patterns. Like, there's two ways to get them into a database. You either have tinters cut patterns and send them in, and then somebody scans them, puts them into a database, and I just have the pattern. I don't have the vehicle for reference. So they just get scanned in. Pattern should be, within a certain range, right? But it all depends on how they cut them, and it's all how the scanner interpreted the scan, and sometimes things just don't quite line up right. Or what a company does is they get the cars, which again is a huge undertaking. Like that is just crazy. Trying to get literally every new vehicle that comes out, any variations. So like you could have a Ram and then they have what, like 6 different windshields for them? And then you have aftermarket stuff too. Like, it's just crazy. But you get the vehicles, you cut them out, you scan them, and then you can reprint them and at least have some type of quality control over what you're putting out. But if that were up to me doing 1 car a day, dude, there'd be too many cars that come out that year for me to even keep up with. So it takes a team, big thing to bring you patterns at $200 a month. Can some companies take your liners? Yeah, I think that's what some companies do, is you send them out either the patterns or just the liners, and then they scan them. But, like, that's what's difficult, is, like, it might scan it, but let's say that edge is just like this. Little dip here, or maybe a squiggle, or maybe it scanned it and that line came up a little bit higher. I don't know. A very small deviation is like, oh, that pattern is shit. So, unless you're like actually reprinting the patterns and checking them on cars, like, I don't. you can't really say your patterns are accurate. They might be, but even the software company doesn't know. They just know what they were sent. Plot and go. Next customer. Yes. That's pretty much it. And I've seen pictures posted of mediocre patterns that a lot of people say, "Oh, it looks fine, ship it." Like it's like, "Oh, it's not my fault that it cut it out slightly off." Like that's just how it's going to be on that car. It's like, "Wait, what?" But that's why there's all types of levels of business here. Some of them are more particular, some of them are lick it and stick it. And some customers genuinely don't notice, don't care. So it is what it is. It's always just bugged me.
Matt, I'm drawing a blank.
What?
Front doors and windshield. What are our three prices?
$249, $349,
Or four.
and $449. Not like we can't click the quote button. This is where it's not like we just built a software that shows all our pricing and quotes or anything. I'll tell you, any class program is going to be really helpful for shrinking. See if you can try on more than one vehicle or do the windshield for some practice. Oops. So I hand cut the front, plotter cut the back, quarter windows, doors, turned out beautiful. Very happy with them. No gripes here. If software always did that, dude, I have nothing bad to say about it.
He goes, man, that's the highest quote I've heard so far. And I said, really? Good. Good, we're right where we want to be then. Thank you.
I'm going to blow your mind. There's this cool software called Tint. If you click on quote and you scroll down and you look at the price, it's right there. Sometimes humans are quicker than navigating the software. Oh, yeah. A competent person at hand cutting by themselves isn't, for like one vehicle, you're not really gaining much by using a plotter. There's situations though, like a plotter is going to do a really good job of this window, and the back window. These windows, I was really happy with that one over there. This car, probably fine. The more newer vehicles that come out, good quality control behind patterns. Like, now it's a sliding scale, right? Where software patterns, a lot of them are mediocre, but if they continue to just improve on quality control, then all of a sudden years go by and now it's like, wow, every pattern for the last 20 years all seems to line up really well overall. It'll get better. It depends on the software you use. It depends on the vehicle that you cut. Hand cutting's always like more of a tailor fit. It's like I'm cutting that pattern to that specific window on that, like exactly that specific instance. On the next door of the same vehicle, this window might be slightly different from another one. The way that they grind the edges down, or there's always tolerance levels to windows, because this window doesn't need to be exactly the same shape for it to fit inside the door and go up and down. It needs to be close, but not exact. Oh, Mark, there was somebody in the Tintly community that needs help setting something up. I told him somebody would call him today. I just want to make sure that his stuff isn't broken. Cool. Plotter the difficult windows. Yep. Whenever it's tedious to hand cut them, that's where plotters like really shine. Like a Jeep back window, man. That's a pain in the butt. It takes me way longer to hand cut. But I can plot it in seconds. Same thing with truck back windows. Plotter's way gonna outpace me. If we're doing like a set of doors, I could hand cut and have patterns ready in the same amount of time that it would take me to load the plotter, pick the vehicle, get it in there. Like, it's not really saving me time. It just means that I can be like a little bit lazier. But if the patterns are good, personally, I don't care a difference. The biggest thing is like, how do they fit? Some shops are more particular, some aren't. It's up to you. We just charge higher prices. We take longer, we're more picky. That's just the way I've always kind of been. Nice. Look at that. Gonna make sure that that lines up. What would a good brand for practice be, but you would leave it installed on a vehicle if everything went the way it was supposed to? See, this is why cheap films. This is why so many people buy cheap films. You're like, well, it's a good one for practice, but is also gonna last. You don't really know. That's why I like Geo, because I think it's the best of everything. Their films have gotten more expensive, but Tint Club, not too shabby. There's going to be a few people that mention brands that I just like, that kind of fit. It'll be a little bit less expensive. I couldn't tell you exactly how that they compare on a day-to-day installation or whatnot. I just don't know. I've used other cheap films. It's just everybody's always looking for the magical box of lifetime warranty perfect film for under $100. Is Autobahn still territory? Anything but black magic film. I manufacture window film for a living. One of the top 3 manufacturers in the world. Is it Solar Guard? Autobahn came out with a new ceramic film, Blocks 99 IR. Nice, very cool. IR will inevitably become like UV. Matico. Matico's weird like Solar Guard. I think manufacturers just want to manufacture. They don't really care about their house brands as much. They're too busy making film. This is Core. I'm tinting a fleet for a company. They're requesting I use rock rose tint. There's an awesome photo in the Facebook group where in 6 months the rear of a truck turned like a rose color. So you might want to show him that picture. Just search Rock Rose in our Facebook group. That's what I told them. Good. If they want to move forward, that's on them. That's totally fine. If like somebody's got a cracked windshield, and I say, we should probably fix this first before we tint it, and they're like, no, I just want to tint it. Okay, it's not mine. I saw that picture. Yeah, it was pretty wild, right? It's just funny. Look, I'm not on. To me, it's not price. It's just buying the cheapest product. Like, dude, I use Geo. There's a reason I like Geo, and I didn't just go buy Lumar. Right? Yeah, this is right. It's just there's a point where if you don't know where your films are coming from and you just got a cheap price on a box, you're just running a lot of risk. If I install film on 100 cars and a year later every one of those cars turns purple or bubbles or fails, and I sold it with a lifetime warranty, those people are going to be knocking back on your door wanting shit fixed. So it's just, if you're saving money on film, there's nothing wrong with that. It's not just buying more expensive products for the sake of buying more expensive products. It's just know what you're getting into. So if you're saving money on product and you're like, yeah, the people around here just don't care, we do a shorter warranty, or, you know, I've been installing it for a while and I've only ever had one person ever say anything, then it's like, whatever. What machine? This is a Graphtec FC 9000. Here, I'm gonna start the other place. Go live. Let's do it. Window tint, that's right. Oops. Oh, I clicked the wrong button. I didn't want to click that button. Should be good here. Yeah, I use tape. Trying to avoid getting 5+ tiny specks in the entire window. That's always a good goal. It's tricky, because that's like, you're down to like the final boss. It's like, where does it come from? And it could be a variety of things. It could be a random thing floating through the air. It could be the way that you carried it. It could be that unlucky second. It could be something out of a seal. Could be your water. When you're getting down to like a few little specks, it's like you're 99.9 clean. It gets fixed with gel. That's cool. Then it most likely just something in from the sides and possibly water too, but most likely just like part of your install. There's a little piece of dust. I can grab it right now. It's just, oh, it's going up. It's going away. Shit is just everywhere. Waiting to ruin your day. But yeah, I agree with the gel. That's what I've liked most about it. Is it really starts helping that, like, dude, where did that come from? I don't know. It helps with that. We've been using a DI system, so our water is like extra clean. I thought it was just going to be a filter, so I wasn't in a rush to set it up. But one thing that I've noticed is that it keeps tap water from ruining our soaps. So my soap doesn't break down like it used to before. I thought that was just like soaps break down, but it's really like stuff in tap water breaks down soaps. But I used to scrub out my tank like once a week. You'd see a film start developing on the sidewalls after a couple days. Right? So I didn't let my water go for more than 2 days. I've left it sitting in there for like a week, and there's nothing to scrub. I hate that they've changed the baby shampoo formula. You know what I'll say about that? Yeah, definitely annoying. But the thing about those products is they were never intended. They were never intended for window film installation. They were just a solution that worked really well. We've seen it with dryer sheets. We've seen it with baby shampoo. We've seen it with every product category. Inevitably, those things just start to change. Sometimes they work a little better. Sometimes it's the same. Sometimes it's worse. There's almost always an off-the-shelf alternative that, like, you know, hey, baby shampoo doesn't really work. But why did baby shampoo become so popular? It was something somebody tried off the shelf, and it worked really well. And then they told people, and then they told people, and then it became the norm. So you just got to do some product hunting. Or use like a window tinting version. Try some things, figure it out. That's why we use dryer sheets. That's why we use baby shampoo. And now gels are starting to become such a popular thing because somebody tried it in a unique way and it turned out to be really, really good. So I still like Snuggle for, I use Snuggle and GeoShield films. I've tried other films they seem to be a little sticky with. So they're really, like, certain products are really good with certain films. And it's just, you kind of have to force yourself to try some differences. Johnson baby shampoo used to be yellow in a clear bottle, but now it's almost clear in a yellow bottle. Yeah. I mean, people are talking about the wider shape bottle. Dude, remember, like, this wasn't even that long ago. It was like just pre-COVID, which, yeah, now it's a long fucking time ago, right? Good God, I'm old. Seems like last year. The baby shampoo bottles were just like taller and skinnier. You could drop them into your spray tank. I was annoyed when they changed from that bottle because on a cold winter day, my soap would freeze from sitting overnight in my Explorer. And then I could just put hot water in my spray tank, drop the baby shampoo bottle, and then it would melt. It was fantastic, but the wider bottles never fit. 7th gen dish soap is great. Yep, I hear people talking about that one quite a bit. That might become the next baby shampoo. My favorite mix for Geo for a long time was baby shampoo and a little bit of Dawn. Never had any problems from it. But then we learned dish soaps aren't really good for, detergents aren't very good for window film adhesive. It's hard to quantify though. I used milk, soapy milk water in a video. I went to Walmart because they had a ceramic film that was so hazy. I was like, it looks like it was tinted with milk. And then so I tinted a window with milk. And you know what? It dried perfectly clear. It looked like I just used it like normal. Turned out better than the cheap ceramic film. So like I couldn't, and I left it on the window for a month. It was totally fine. So I feel like you can tint with a whole lot of things. But it's hard to definitively say, and this is more an issue with the companies and warranties, right? If you are using products that a company would deem unsafe for their films, then they're not going to honor a warranty. Or it's not, it's violating the warranty is what it would be doing, because like it doesn't make sense to say like our films have a lifetime warranty and then you tint them with acid and oh look, it melted away. It's like, okay, well you used acid, that kind of violates a warranty, right? Like you have to play within the rules. Oh yeah, that's on the seat. That's not me. What soap do you use? I use Tint Slip. This stuff right here. This was made after I found out we shouldn't be using Dawn. What machine and software? I use a Graphtec FC9000 and I use Core. He probably uses Graphtec and Core. Spot on. All right, let's grab the back doors. Let's grab the quarters. Sorry, back window and quarters. I got extra space. Where do I put these? I guess I'll just put them here because that's where they're coming from. Okay, all my settings are good. Do I need anything else? No. And then let's just give ourselves a little room and click cut. So while this is cutting, now I can be doing something else. That's the beauty of plotters, is getting more things done at the same time. So you have somebody run the machine for you, and then you work on other things. And then when it's all ready to go, shrink and install, right? That's where plotters help a shop become way more efficient. It's not just about helping an individual out with one car by themselves. It can make a whole crew of people move much faster. Pattern doesn't fit? Okay, make these adjustments and go cut me another one, right? Like if I have to be the one to do everything, they don't really save you that much time on the more standard stuff. But a truck back window, an SUV rear half, do those types of things? Oh yeah, all day long, especially if you don't have to change out the shade.
So it's almost like when you do these corners, it's almost like
But if that pattern doesn't line up, then I wasted both film and time, and I wish I would have hand cut it.
like I was saying, I'll grab
Almost like you've been here once or twice. I don't even really have to use a dryer sheet on this one. Pow! Flat glass training.
So when you're cutting across this, if you kind of feel it,
Yeah, we do single day sessions because like it's a really good fit. There's a lot of like there's the obvious 3 to 5 day like long form classes. But some people just need to come out for a day for something. So we made flexible days where you could come out, practice on a car, get a crash course in flat glass.
not quicker, just in this window. Okay. But multiply this window.
But yeah, anything around window tinting that you want to learn. They're really helpful for that. That's my brother Daniel. He's been tinting for 11 or 12 years now at this point. He takes on the workflow of Auto Tint City a couple days a week, which is like, I don't know. A normal day for them is like 8 to 10 cars. But with a small team of people. I did that for a long time. I don't want to do that no more. Sorry. No sound detected. What do you mean no sound detected? Of course there is. Oh, it's just because it was being quiet. My bad. 1 second. I'm getting TikTok going too. No. We click stop and we click activate again and we look at it and now we should be good. What other work do you do? Nothing. We don't do anything else. We actually don't do any other automotive services. We have a tool supply store. The channel. So these like live streams and videos. And software. Which software are you using? This is Core. I need like a banner. I get asked that every like 5 minutes. How is important sauce used? They're all used to help keep debris from getting back into your work. When you spray water, it runs. So clean your window, and then before you spray it down, if you hit the edges that run with a gel, it just prevents dirt from running back into your work. They've been really, really helpful. They're used in PPF. Like, same thing. You have a slip solution. You clean off, let's say you're doing a hood. You squeegee it off, it's ready to install. And your slip solution is more runny. So what a gel does is help let the film float longer. Because it keeps an even surface, and then your soap can hang around to do what it does. It doesn't just like run off the car. So there's some of that too. If you just want to spray a little gel on the window, it can keep the film from sticking because it's kind of floating on that gel. Our usual answer to that is, oh, just add more soap or just torch the window. But gel's definitely an option. So you can use it in a couple different ways. So I'll show you on this back window. I mainly use it on quarter windows and windshields. But you can use it on anything. Ooh, 2004 Grand Prix. Grand Prix's a very big back window. It's hard for me to give advice. It's not the hardest window to shrink. It's just a big fucking piece of film. It takes up like almost a full 36-inch roll. I haven't got a Grand Prix in a long time. Oh my God, I was going crazy tinting those. The seals pull out of the doors though, not the lower seal. but around it is an old GM thing, so that'll make the doors easier. So like the frame seal. On a Grand Prix, you can just roll down the window, and then there's a rubber seal that goes around here, and you can just take it out of all 4 doors. Super easy to take out and put back in. A wet or dry shrink. On back windows and windshields, I pretty much always use a dry shrink. On a shorter window like this, there's not as much to shrink. You could do wet shrink just fine in like a similar way. How many cars do you do at that speed per day? Dude, at this speed, we'd be like 2 cars. 2 to 3 cars in a day at this speed. We gotta put some hustle in if we want to get some volume done. This is a lazy pace. Where are my towels? There's my towels. It's a good price for a 22 Honda Civic 7 windows. Which 7 windows? Sides in the back, so no windshield. We start at $299. Some places will be plenty cheaper than that. I'd say wherever you're going, $250 is just generally sketchy, like below $250. Is that acceptable working for somebody? 2 to 3 cars? At the right place, yeah. It just depends on what they're charging. If they're only charging like $200 for a car, no. Like, it's gonna be pretty run down. But that I would say is like a dedicated tint shop. That might be plenty fine for like a different type of business. I tinted for companies that would only want to charge $200. But we had a minimum that we would collect from that, so I don't know. They don't want to make money on a job. They don't want to make money on a job. Okay, I'm going to squeegee this off one more time. I'm gonna get some. Where's my other bottle? Did I leave it over here? Did I leave it over here? Where'd I put it? That bottle is squirrely. Maybe they took it. No, they did not take it. All right, fuck it. Let's use this. This is more expensive than I want to spray in this situation. What's one thing you enjoy other than teaching about tinting? Oh, like tinting's been such a playground for everything that I find interesting. I'm just like a big tech nerd. I like playing around with and I like business. So like for me, it's been like a huge outlet for like a wide variety of things. So like, yeah, I've done videos for a long time. But a big part of doing videos was because I just nerded out looking at camera stuff and playing around with all that. And then the live streams are very much like, dude, they're complicated. You can take a phone and just stream to one platform, but if you want to try and do multiple platforms and make it look better and whatnot, it's like now you got like a wireless microphone set up and we're streaming over to that computer so I can monitor chat at the same time, and then I can hear the chat. Like there's just a lot of little things that go into it. So I just nerd out on all that kind of stuff. We're working on an end-to-end software suite. That's been really exciting. So now when somebody calls, I enabled a call screener on ours. You don't have to use a call screener if you don't want to, but man, it's really nice. You just ask them a couple simple questions, like, thanks for calling, while I get you connected. Are you calling about getting a vehicle tinted, or can I help you with something else? And so when that call comes in, it shows me their name and what vehicle that they're calling about. Or if they needed help with something else, I'll know that before I even pick up the call. Then we got call recordings. Everything's transcribed and summarized. Customer information is filled out from that initial call. Oh, it's so nice. What tool are you using? This thing? This just helps fan out the film. We call it the Slim Sweep. What's the acceptable amount of little dots, especially on a windshield? Whatever the customer can bear. At the end of the day, they're paying for it. Hey, you can have one spot, but if that spot is like right in their line of sight, and they just like, there's just this speck right in, like as I'm driving, it's right there in the middle, and I can't dude, it's so distracting when I drive. Well, it's just one spot. And it's annoying. Because you tried your damnedest, you want to do a good job, and then you did everything quote unquote right, and then you still have an issue with it. That's just part of tinting. That kind of shit never really goes away. So, always shooting for perfection. Stop using new tools, now I need to order one. You'll see on the windshield. I use them mostly on back windows and windshields. So for a long time, I would just squeegee a windshield just with a nice medium firmness squeegee. About earlier last year, maybe a little bit before that, after watching a lot of people tint here in person and like we're going through classes and stuff, I was never one to really use a cleaning squeegee. I just use like a nice medium squeegee and I can kind of do everything with it. But what a softer squeegee also does, other than just it's nice for cleaning, it helps evenly fan out the film and prevent you from trapping larger like air trails and in the adhesive. Because I'll tell everybody in the class, squeegee from the center out. So you're trying to evenly distribute this over a surface, right? If this was a piece of vinyl, you would tack it in the middle and then you'd pull it on all edges, right? To evenly do it. You wouldn't start here and then pull all the way across. So you get a bunch of ripples and stuff in it, right? But with tint, it's similar type of thing. It doesn't stretch as much, but you want to just try to prevent things from bunching up. So if I start from the middle and I kind of work my way out, I'm evenly distributing that piece of film over a curved surface. If I take another piece of film and I start more on the top, and it drags, right? It pushes. So what can happen is this. Like some people do this, and then they do this, and then they squeegee here. And then you start getting, like, where did this finger come from? It's because you took all this material and you bunched it up into one spot. But if you stay in the middle and work your way out, things go a lot better. So on door windows, same type of principle is going on. You really are focusing on not trying to take all this and push it down. You're trying to keep that going out from the center. Quarter windows, back windows, exact same way. So I took this and I start in the middle and I'm just fanning this out. So I get a nice even layer of water and most of the air out. And then we can put a harder squeegee over it, and we're not trapping air and other stuff in there. Name the tool again. Slim. We have it in the store called the Slim Sweep. So I put a flat piece of film on a curved surface, and you can see these little ripples popping up, right? These little fingers. So again, if I just take this and I squeegee from here, and I'm just like, oh, look, I pushed all that to the bottom. That's what's in the window that can be shrunk before I go to install this. Alternatively, and we'll see how this goes, there's not that much to shrink. So if I've got my slip right and I push more from the center and work my way out, I was trying to get rid of all the little smears too, like these, make it look nice but you don't see any fingers now, right? So where you squeegee from can matter in, like, do I have to shrink or not? There's curve in the window. You don't have to if you're even about it, but sometimes it's nice to. So I still tend to shrink these just a little bit, because this doesn't take more than like 10 seconds and it's done. But you could definitely get away with not shrinking them at all. Okie dokie. That's the easiest way to get back here. Let me get a towel. Get one of these towels and I'll throw it over. Oh no. That's been my experience with the latest tint job. He swapped it out 3 times. Each time it's right in the line of sight. I go next week for another try. Oh my god. You're his worst nightmare. He's just like, oh, this fucking thing again. And it's not you. It's the whole situation. I've been in stuff like that before. Good on him for trying to make it right, but holy shit. 3 times, that's tough. Have you ever removed a third brake light on an 08 Civic Coupe without removing the panels? No. I've never removed a brake light on a Civic. You can go straight behind it. There's a lot of paneling in that lower area. But you can, there's tools, you can just get in there. The only brake lights that I ever really removed were the obvious ones that were like disconnected. So they would clearly pop away from the deck lid. Very, very few situations have I ever removed a deck lid. My film creased when I tried that. Yeah, it's not going to be easy. Extra soapy water. Keep that bottom edge nice and flat. And just drag it down. It's not fun. But yeah, like I've got so much more experience doing that than ever removing them. Dude, I couldn't tell you how I would remove them. You probably do have to remove the pillars because that's what's holding the edges of those deck lids. Like they just seal everything in. So some of it can be the seats, some of it are the pillars. That's how much I don't like taking that kind of stuff apart, is I will figure out how to not take that apart. By just working around a lot of those situations. And then you just get used to it. Shit gets better and better. But it's like the Camaros. The newest Camaros are annoying. Slim sweep. I can't find on your website. Are you sure? Here. 313 Tint. And then I'm going to search. And I hope I... Slim. It's right here. I just typed in Slim. Did you use search? It's right there. We have a search. What's your suggestion on removing tint off a back window of an 18 Mercedes E-Class due to excessive bubbles? Use a steamer and pull it off. Also, keep in mind, there's probably... Oh! I'm sorry. It might not be there. It could be there. It probably should be there. But yeah, the main place. We should have it there. But on the Mercedes, what I was going to say about the E-Class. E-Class is not good. If you were to say, hey, are there any vehicles where you would be worried about the defrosters peeling off the windows? I would say E-Class. I've seen it happen. So, even using a steamer, even being careful, E-Class are notorious for just completely falling apart. When I applied tint, dust came in. Welcome to tinting, my friend. None of us are special. We all deal with it. You had a blade on that towel? This one? Thank you. I remember it falling down, and I was like, oh, I gotta grab that. And then I got distracted. I like tune out. Like, I get easily distracted and I tune out. A lot of this is going through the same motions over and over again. So, like, I put myself on autopilot. How do I get found on Tintly? What? I never thought we'd have that question. Tintly's not a discoverable, like, marketplace. Tintly is a CRM app. So we have lead forms that you can, oh, I put that blade down. Ew. Ew. I'm just grossed out that I touched all that. I don't know. It just felt yucky. Yucky. So my daughter would say. She unfortunately threw up last night. And she's like, Daddy, yucky. Poor girl. I think it was all loose, though. Let me go get him. Oh, do I have it? Talk to me like normal. What the hell is CRM? You know, I do think that we need to find a different category name for it. Because CRM's, the name is used really loosely. It's like a business software that helps organize your clients. And they all work a little differently. Some have integrated phone systems. Some are lead forms and business organization. We kind of took the entire workflow and just mashed it all together. So phone system, text messaging, leads and quotes, scheduling, invoicing. It's all blended together. So you don't have to hop between apps. You can schedule somebody right from a messaging window. You can send them a quote right from a messaging window. You can send somebody a booking link right from the same messaging window. I tried to take basically everything that I hated about workflows and make them either easier or more enjoyable. Wait, what? What happened there? What kind of crack? Oh. Oh, that's so annoying. Okay. Perfect window. Right? Yes. Good job. Oh, what the fuck? You see that? Look at that gap. You see? You sit up high. I don't see a damn thing. Ah, shit. There it is. That's so annoying. That's happened to everybody. I even like hunched down. I gotta keep. Now I can see it. Damn, that really blends. We could try and remove it and replace it, but anytime you peel tint back, it almost inevitably reintroduces trash back into it. Might even be a few speckles. I don't know. It's just, I'm just going to go cut one of these out real quick. Actually, because I got this roll, I'm going to duplicate it. And I'll cut 2 of them because I want to throw one away. Somebody can win a quarter window. Where are the leads and appointments coming from, or is that like an ad thing? Yeah, that's from any of your external things. Just filling out a form doesn't mean people are going to find you. That's a tool, and then you got to put the booking calendar or lead form on like a website or social media or something like that. Like you got to, that's for capturing people. I think it's Tint Flow. Here, let me see if I can find it really quick. It might pop up here. Tint Flow. Maybe I can find it from this. Ah, here we go. So we have a company doing our ads, and this is the landing page that they land on. So if somebody searches window tinting near me, then they land on this page, and then they go through this. So if they go through this, and there's a few different places that they can click a button, but you click get a quote, and then here's our phone number or online quote. Here's our form. You fill this form out, and then you would pop up in here. Did I contact this person? I think I did. Front doors. So this person wants front doors on an F-150 or F-250. So I'm going to click the quote button. There's their name, information. There's the vehicle that they filled out. Front doors was the service that they picked. Here's our pricing already filled out. I'm going to go down and I'm going to click generate quote. And I'm going to click send quote. But this is what gets sent to that customer. Woo! With confetti. Here's your quote. Here's some recent vehicles that we did. Here are the options for that job and the pricing, and they can pick on the option that they want and click book. And then from there, it shows a booking calendar with available appointment times. And then you can pick your time and date and pay a deposit and schedule. So it's all pretty seamless. So I could click this, I could click continue and book it. How to avoid dust. Give me some tips. Watch. Well, all these, this whole stream is tips on that. So we'll start with that quarter window that I just placed too low. We did all the Tintly stuff. That Tint Flow page, that was through Union. Union does ads, so they did mine. And they run all their like Union people through that same type of flow. Which, like, personally, I want to try something a little bit different. I don't know if I'll get better results, but I want to try something different. Chintless needs to step it up. They don't have a back button. I didn't know this until way later, and I still forget about it. You can swipe back, but yeah, they should have a back button. Tint was, they just got bought. Okay. So we were talking about dust. So first thing that I did on this one was I scraped it with a razor blade. When I squeegee it, I want to make sure I start at the top and see how we don't have any drippage or water. And swipe, and swipe, right. And then we can rinse down these sides and lightly mist the top. So we don't want stuff running down. Then I'm gonna peel this, because this is a small pattern. I can just peel this right in here and spray. And then we just don't want to touch the paneling. We want to get this as close to where it's getting installed as we can. So I'll start on the bottom, push this up onto the window. Wha-bam. Then we're gonna squeegee this off. Again, kind of from the center, working our way out. Fuck you guys. I'm all wrapped up trying to teach. Look at that. Look at that. We got a little gap. And I think our window's stuck. Wait for it. I got an extra pattern and I'm gonna go use it. Embarrassing. Gap again. See, I cut out two. I knew it. I knew I was gonna have problems. I love Tintwiz people. I hope we see some new stuff coming in that app, because yeah, they definitely need it. Hey, we finally got Fusion. We ordered it a month ago. So I don't know how much. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Who fucking cares? Yeah, they got bought by a payment processor company. Mark did some digging into that company yesterday. And the concerning thing that we found was it doesn't look like anybody that's been bought by that company ever really does any updates. They just get bought, integrate payment processing, and then that company just bought like a bunch of other companies. So they're just a big acquisition company that integrates payment processing. The end. So I'm hoping that we're gonna see some updates, because now they've got support, right? So it's a little weird that they got bought 6 months ago, and their only update was payment processing. That's not very inspiring. You'd think you'd have like a feature to go along with it. Like, we got bought by it, and we have payment processing, but we also have these two things that users have been asking about. They're having issues getting payment processing seamless. That's not good. Oh, I checked that window. That window. The window officially has no gaps now. That one never had a gap. That one's good. Any dust there? I mean, after the third try, I would especially hope not. It's very clean. Nothing's catching my eye right now. Why not heat gun the whole thing? Because there's no point in heat gunning the whole thing. It'll dry out. Hard squeegee, and then shrinking is more about gathering what you need to shrink. Still considered beta mode. Yeah, well, I'm sure like that stuff can be a little slower for sure. I'm sure they don't want it to take any longer than it needs to. So it's hard to say like how quickly that whole process started. Nobody knows other than themselves. Is it true NASA uses GL? NASA had somebody install Pro Nano. Yeah, that is true. Clayton Summerall, I think, was the guy that did it. I think they called Geo, and like Geo found somebody kind of like in the area. And then I talked to Burns about it. They were out there for like an entire day or two because it was like super curved. It was a bubble. But yeah, they tinted a rover. It was very cool. That's where this towel actually came from. To the moon. Very, very cool. Did they get limo? I don't think it was quite that dark. I do not remember what shade, but there's posts about it. All right, so the sides and rear are all set. We got a windshield to do now. And a towel from outer space. Space towel. Should we take this off? Let's find out. This is your classic Chevy housing, a piece in the middle that needs to break free that hopefully doesn't just shatter into a million little fucking pieces. Yay. I've never had that happen, I'll just say, but like that, you definitely have to crank on it a little bit. That slides out. Then we have a little screw. This will pop out. This will unclip. And easy peasy. No video feed. Makes that part a little bit easier to get past. It's not essential, but it is helpful. So if something disassembles really quickly and easily like that around a mirror, I would much rather remove that. 10 out of 10. Still got good water. I might spice it up a little bit. But let's get this prep first. Did you take off a VW rearview mirror? Ooh. I remember splicing around a good amount of those. Some of them are just like, those and Audis, they can have really weird mounts. Like a spring clip thingy, like that grabs on like all sides. It depends. It depends on the one. They twist off. Oh, if it's just a small circle, that one does twist off. That one I'll remove. But if it's like got a housing around it, I don't get that many of those. Where's my... Oh, there's one. I'll take it. I will take it. Any of the twist-off ones, yeah, be careful, please. The Chargers... Or, sorry, not Chargers. Like Durangos and Rams, those have twist-off ones. I would not remove them unless I had a little in-person training from a glass company on that. I was tinting for a glass company for quite a while. And then they're like, why don't you just remove that mirror? And I'm like, and they're like, oh, it's easy. Here, let me show you. I'm like, if I can go ahead, do it. And he showed me. I was like, oh, that was easy. Okay, I'll try it on the next one. How would I tint around it if I didn't take it off? You got to splice it. So you're going to have a line that goes straight up from that circle mount, little splice. It's not fun to do. It's hard to keep clean. But that's your only option. Which is why, like, especially the F-150 mirrors, the clip style, so many people try and pull those off. Because it's really annoying to tint around it and leave a splice. Nobody really wants to do that. That's why we're willing to sometimes try and break a window to do it. $12. Oh, that's not bad. It's because I started early. You need more cars here at like 9 o'clock. Difference between the blue and white scrub pads. The white ones are made like, it used to be mainly like a 3M thing. Then they just got popular. White ones are just known to be softer and glass safe. Blue, Scotch-Brite or Tri-Edge ones, they're going to be pretty similar. Some blue ones are a little bit harder. The Tri-Edge ones are really nice, but they're all going to be very similar in like what they actually do. All going to be safe for scrubbing on glass. It really is just, if you see like a giant pack on Amazon for little money, it's not going to be a 3M scrub pad. It's just going to be like a whatever soft blue or soft white scrub pad. It's going to be totally fine. But that's it. Just abrasiveness. All of them are going to be safe. Trying to send a Yamaha boat. Any tips? You don't want any tips from me on that one. My last boat I walked away from, and I haven't wanted to go to another boat since. I had one boat here on stream, and we're not that far away from, like, Michigan is the state of lakes. We have many, many lakes. We have lots of boats. And we're not that far. It would have been cool to be a destination and do a lot more boats. But all the cheap boats seem to have like a gasket around the window, and then the dashboard gets in the way. And a lot of those windshields have a sharp bend. So it's just really hard to do a nice job on it. It's recommended to actually remove it. Like if you just want it to be easier, you remove it, but have a second set of hands. Because putting them back isn't fun either, from what I hear. So it's just kind of a pain in the butt. Get the expensive boats, like the Malibus. Those have just a dot matrix border. They're way easier to tint. They're so annoying tinting a boat. Gel might help though now. That was a trick up my sleeve that I didn't have back then. I had 100% using that. But it's like tinting a gasket quarter window that is hard to get to and is very curved. It's just like, oh, this sucks. I'd say maybe the easiest thing that would make it a little bit more practical is maybe you could just leave a gap around the entire thing and then do like a pinstriping on the outside of it that like covers that gap. It's no fair. They do that in every other industry. Why isn't it okay to do it in window tinting? Like flooring, right? They have an expansion gap around the edges. They do floor trim, baseboards. You have window trims, right? Like everything about like construction and things has like some type of trim. Vehicles, they have trim. So like I don't know why we're so obsessed with like if we have the border to tuck behind, cool. But if there's like an actual gasket and you can't get it behind it, then we try and butt it up as close as we can. And we should normalize putting like a little piece of trim around the edge and then cover up all the gaps. Why not use knifeless tape? It doesn't work with tint. Knifeless tape works because vinyl is soft and you stick it down to the surface and you rip it through. Window tint's not even installed yet and not like sealed down to the window. And also window tint doesn't rip the same.
Did he just tell you could do a windshield with knifeless tape?
No, he asked why not use knifeless tape.
Yeah, why not? I can do it.
Damn it. That would be the follow-up comment. Well, you can't do it, but I can. No, chat's being really nice today. Yeah. Or they gave NASA the $199 special. I highly doubt they only charge NASA $199. That's something you put on a bill and somebody in the billing department has no earthly, pun intended, no earthly idea how much it would actually cost. You know? It's just like, approved. $50,000. I have no idea what they charged. But when you're dealing with other entities that have just a wild budget and no form of reference for, it's just that everything costs 50,000, 100,000. Yeah, sure, fuck it. All right. Windshield is still drying. I'm going to scrape this windshield quick, and then we're going to cut out and shrink and then cut out. I don't know if Apex Ultra was around when GeoShield did the rover. It would have been really new if it was around. I don't remember. What makes me think my client is going to say yes to it? They might not. That's sales, man. And for me, it depends on what I value and what I want to spend my money on. We're all in here. We're all about talking about tinting, and we're trying to help out as many businesses as possible. But clients are just a big marketplace of opinions. Some do not value any type of heat rejection. Some wouldn't pay for it. We get leads all the time that hear a price and just like, oh, that's expensive. And they go somewhere else. You're never going to land 100% of people. You have to get a gauge of where your market is kind of at. Never say never, but it's going to be really hard to be a $1,000 tint shop if everybody is a $200 tint shop. That's just kind of the way things work. Unless you're doing something very different, and there's no formula that I can really give you for that. That's all business, and business is very competitive and challenging. So there's helpful practices and things that you can try. But you got to put yourself in a customer's shoes, right? If you were like, I don't know where to go, right? That's part of it, is you're just all entertaining the same client bases, or might be. $35 is what I'm looking for. But if you're all entertaining like the same type of leads and client bases, and you're all doing it in the same type of way, there's nothing that makes you seem any more special than anybody else unless you try. So every type of business tries to have some type of an angle in their respective markets. Everybody in the group apparently charges 2 arms and 1 leg to tint a car. No, there are some very vocal people that will boast about that, and then you're not going to see a lot of people that charge way less than that chime in and say, "Oh, we only charge $100." But there's 100% people in there that absolutely do charge $100 for a car. What squeegee are you using to tint front windows? It's right here. It's actually in the car, but the same squeegee is right here. I'm trying to get it out of tool belt. It's Pros Blade wax. That's what I'm using right now. Oh, that's different. Completely different. He was asking about a door window. How do you compare to the shops near you? More expensive than them? More expensive than quite a few of them. And then I don't think we're still the most expensive one. To just be completely honest, I think we should be more central in a nicer area. Or we should probably offer a few more things. Otherwise, just probably be a little bit more price competitive. Because we have clients that find us that like really like our work and our service, and they definitely come back. But we get the most from like no questions from just like solid referrals. So if we tint this car, like this is not the first car this guy brought. And he's just like, oh yeah, I just get a new car every year and I just bring it to you guys. I love the work that you guys do. So like when you build that kind of trust with a customer, they're only ever going to refer other people in that type of range, like friends, family, acquaintances, coworkers, stuff like that. So a lot of your client base will start with some people and branch out that way, which is why your initial pricing can be kind of an issue. But if you're just, putting ads out, getting random calls and stuff, unless you have a really good process in place, good follow-up, call customers on the phone, I think is probably one of the best things that you can do rather than just send a quote over. So you have to figure out how to talk to people. There's something that's really lacking for me. It's probably that end of things. I'm just not that good at sales. I'll ask a few questions and stuff, but like when they get to like, there's people I'm pretty sure you're just like, as soon as you quote a price, you can tell you're just like, oh, I didn't think it was going to be that much. And they don't want to be rude about it. Those are situations that I'm just not as good at. But that person that called was also not sold on us. They might have called a couple different places. It's more about price, being focused on price. And that's always challenging to deal with. So charging more is just a longer road. You're just not going to get as many people. It's just what that trade-off is. In certain areas, that's perfectly fine. If you're just close in the right area to the right type of client base, you're just going to have an easier time. Or if it's just less busy around where you are, you're just going to have an easier time. What tool did you use to trim the excess off the film? This guy. Safety cutter, letter opener. This is actually called the Snitty cutter. This is the original. It's got a replaceable blade. Very sharp blade. And you can use 4 different sides. See those little lines there? You can flip the blade around. It's sharp on all ends. Probably shouldn't. Here we go. This all the way around with the windshield is we're doing in carbon. This is $450. Do you think I can shrink a windshield from watching what's going on in the screen instead of looking at the vehicle itself? It'll probably make the video better. But there's like a 1.5 second delay between what happens and what I see. That makes it even tougher. At what degree do you put the heat gun? As hot as it can go.
No, you have to choose a number.
Ah!
You have to choose the exact temperature number in Fahrenheit and Celsius. 762.6777777. Oh, remember that? Was that the Brian voice?
77777. Yeah. Why did it not start? Oh, that's why it didn't start. My friend just started about a week ago. He's already charging an arm and a leg, and his cuts be all jagged. Any advice for him? Take the areas that you're struggling with, watch videos, and practice that specific thing over and over again in just rapid succession. So if your cuts are all jagged, take one piece of film, cut that edge, and then lift that same piece of film up, do it again, do it again, do it again, do it again. And you can start to get better quickly. But it's good that your friend has that kind of confidence going into it.
200 bucks for 2 fronts.
Huh?
You charged him 200 bucks for 2 fronts and carbon.
200 bucks for carbon on 2 front. Dang. Nice job. We do that for C2 ceramic. 150 for carbon. But even 150 for front doors is on the high side. Like, front doors are quicker work overall. But it's a scheduled appointment. So if you're just handling walk-ins and more appointments in a day, like, a set of doors is like a half an hour. You can slot a lot of those inside of a day for less. I could have a few of those walk in inside of a day while I'm doing a full car. It's like, yeah, sure, just pull it in and I'll get started on it, right? Knock it out while you're working on another car. Carbon versus ceramic. The difference is just the heat performance that you gain from a ceramic film. It's not magic. It's kind of magical. The first time you feel it on a heat box, it's pretty, you know what? Fuck that. It's pretty fucking magical. It's just impressive. But what's actually happening is there's a clear material, a ceramic material that's in the film, and then the sun that is coming through the glass, right? It absorbs that infrared heat, like what you feel. Like it takes that, absorbs it into the glass, that kind of either dissipates off the car, into the car, a little bit of both. It keeps it from just shooting through the window and hitting your interior and your skin. Carbon does some of that, but just not as much, unless you're going with like a darker carbon film. So if you're like a 5%, you're gonna be blocking out a fair amount of heat in a similar way to the ceramic. Ceramics will usually outperform that. But if you're like, bro, I just want a tint job, then you just get a carbon film. But that being said, there's good carbon films and there's poor quality carbon films. There's good ceramic films and there's poor quality ceramic films. Do you accept customers with dirty cars? Oh yeah, of course. It's like where I got my roots, was just like, dude, people don't go through car washes, gradual buildup. piles of shit in the back seat. Like, sure, dude, I don't care. You're paying us to take care of that kind of stuff. Now, if a vehicle has just like been mudding and you have like actual mud caked up on the inside of the window, okay, now we're talking about something that is definitely going to impact the amount of work and how good the end result is. I've had like one Jeep that did that. And it was gross. And it's just like no amount of spraying is making this like all the dirt go away. There's constantly just like grit coming out of the seals. But the way that I look at like the way business kind of works is like you are the service, and you either make your life easier or you make their life easier. So the more things that you take on, the more valuable your service can be. Some shops will wash a car after they're done with the job. That's adding more work on your end, but will make some customers much happier. You could even go pick up the cars for the customer. You could have a car for them to drive. Like, there's certain things that you could do to go above and beyond, but then that all comes at like, is that realistic? Is there a significant cost to that? Can you add that into your service, make things a little bit easier? Like, there's different things that you can do. Mobile versus in a shop, right? We come to you instead. I kind of like it just disconnecting. Because like you have to like restart these things all the time. Or they just like push down your stream. So if anything, it's healthy. Yes, let's do an update right now on OBS. That's smart. That's smart. Have you always done tinting? I did a little bit of basic car detailing. That was vacuuming, blowing out interiors, wiping panels. None of the fancy ceramic coating shit and paint correction. It was just like clean up your car. As an auto accessories company, it was just a pretty standard service with a lot of them, just like basic wash and wax and buff type things. And they would charge like a couple $100 for it, for like an interior and exterior. They would expect it to get done within like, I want to say like 2 hours. And they would have ratty fucking shit. I remember this one. Still, like one of the most horrific vehicles that I ever cleaned up was littered with big fucking nickel-size spiders. Oh, that was the worst. Pressure washer, go to take the spider webs off. Didn't do a damn thing. They just stayed there. And so you're like, they wanted all the door jambs and stuff wiped out. Well, like everywhere you are, there's fucking these big ass spider. And like, yeah, $200. We'll clean it up. Here you go. Fuck you. That was me getting the keys. God damn it. Do I have any staff? Yeah. There's Mark over there. And then Daniel was walking around. He's helping out with a class. Would have just ignited the car at that point. Wasn't a choice. I mean, in a perfect world, I could have just said no. But then my dad was the owner of the company. And then he would just yell at me to do it. So it's like, still lived in the same house at the time. Fuck, I'm doing it, or saying no wasn't really an option. Do you offer flat glass training? Yeah, somebody's out here today for it. So we do them, we have a couple days a week that we offer single day sessions, and it's up to the person on what they want to learn. And you don't have to stick with flat glass all day. You can split it up. It's like, we're available from 9 to 4. And you can learn and ask us anything during that time. Whatever you need help with. Shrinking practice, installations, we'll pull in a car, help you out with it. Flat glass. So if you're struggling in a specific area, they're like extremely helpful for that. It's a little hard to get, like we have some companies send out people that just like, they just need a crash course in everything. It's like, okay, that's cool. I don't know where my I got a big jug, but I got this bottle, so we'll use important on this today. So we cleaned it off like normal, and now what we're gonna do is we're going to hit the edges around the mirror, down the side. This is anywhere I would typically get some. Oh, come on, I got more in here than that. There we go. Do you have to shrink flat glass, or what's the purpose of flat glass training? There is some to learn about the just general techniques and installation. No, there's not shrinking involved in flat glass. But there's differences in what's safe for flat glass versus automotive. So we had a 2-day class, and we ran that a couple times. And honestly, what we found out is by the end of the first day, people were already pretty well-rounded. It just felt like there needed to be more until we actually went through the first couple classes. So we stopped doing them as a 2-day, and eventually we just had a single day. And people are generally just like, dude, by the end of the day, they're like, okay, yeah, I think I'm pretty good. It's just practice. But we get a lot more people out for auto than we do flat glass. How did you tuck in the Model Y that you did yesterday on the doors? Keep the edges nice and flat. I still typically find a spot that wants to bunch up. That's where I'll take a shank and try and free that up. But also, if you put a little counter pressure on the window, so the glass is kind of heavy, and it'll bend back on you. So when the doors open, it'll put a little extra pressure on the seal. So when I'm trying to slide that in place, I'm trying to bend the window away from the seal a little bit. That'll help. That'll help with the pressure. I've only done this once or twice, but it does work. Another thing that you can do is the exterior trim on the Model Y just pops off. And that's pretty, I don't like it, but I did it like once or twice. I just don't like when you have something that doesn't have like a push clip, it's just kind of like a pressure fit. I always feel like when you put it back on, it's not quite as snug as it was before. But the few times I did it, it was fine. But you can actually pull off the exterior trim piece that sits right here, and then it'll give you a lot more room on that glass. Working as an applicator, but dust coming too much. Welcome to tinting. It's just tough. It's frustrating. I wish we could solve that. The gels genuinely help some. They help take a little bit of the like mystery away. Add some like much wanted consistency on the windshields. Windshields are still like my biggest. Like if I could just do the sides and rear on every car and not have to worry about a windshield, dude, my timelines are just more enjoyable. If we have a back window mess up, it's honestly not as big of a deal as having the windshield mess up. And then there's just more around the windshield. I just don't like, I do windshields and I like when things turn out great. It's just, if I had to get rid of a window, I would get rid of a windshield. But it's such a big part of most cars nowadays, you can't ignore them. So you can see the goopy poopy all around the window. Back, strangely enough, I hate doing back passenger windows. That's like a freebie. What do you mean? The back passenger window is like where you start. That's like, if you were to get, customer has an issue with their car, it tends to be a windshield or a driver's door because that's where they are. The last question that I usually get is like something on a back passenger door. Dang it, dude. I'm jealous because I wish I enjoyed windshields more than that. And to be clear, a windshield like this, oh, these are very straightforward. If every windshield was like this, it'd be fine. It's just sometimes you go through this and you got something here. And I probably jinxed myself, but there's like a little thin, long fucker right up there somewhere. And you don't see it until everything's all squeegeed out. And you're like putting your tools away and you're like, what the fuck is that? Oh no. And then you're like, here we go again. Let's re-clean the entire thing and start over. There goes another half hour, 45 minutes of work and material. It's just the worst to mess up. Ew! God damn it. I got splooged. There's a thickness difference between important sauce and Insta-Gel, and it will put a towel down. See this? See this? Look at that goopy shit coming out of there. That's the trade-off to having a thicker sauce. So that means it's gonna collect potentially like more speckles that might be there and like do a better job of keeping that pressed out. But I just find that on a vehicle like this, it would just be overkill. You know what I mean? It's like there's just some levels to it. It's mainly just because it's expensive, right? Like if I can have a product in here that does 95% of what another one does at a third of the cost, then like sign me up. Does that temporarily stain liners? When you say temporarily, does that just mean like they just get wet and it dries out and it's fine? Like water? Or is that like something else? Okay. See, I want to get my towel ready. Can I put this back in the bottle? It's still good. Look at that. Blech. There's more cleanup with this. Like it'll just sit on the edges and it dries kind of like a white powder. So you do want to make sure you got it all cleaned up. Sometimes soap slip leaves residue when it slightly dries. Okay. I haven't used it directly enough, but then disappears. See, that's the part that's got me a little confused. I know, like, you can have, let's say you flush a fabric pillar with water, and that pillar has a little bit of dust on it or whatever. Well, not a little bit. Like, it's a little bit older, right? So it's had time to just, like, soak up some general muck. And then that water kind of, like, pushes that dirt into like a little wave, and you can kind of see the residue of that. I think that can happen with just any of them. I don't think there's any specific instances where I've seen something left over that's stained an interior, but they are relatively newer. So what did concern me a little bit was we sprayed this the other day. This was Thicket. This was Important Sauce. And then this was Instagel. Instagel just didn't leave anything behind. Important Sauce leaves some powder behind. Thicket is just kind of a mess. I should do it again. I'll just like clean this window and then I'll let them both dry. But I don't have any like examples that I can point to and show you. I don't use Important Sauce enough, and I just haven't seen anything negative about it in the groups. People really, really like it. If you're wiping it down and you're just conscious of cleaning up, I don't think you're gonna have an issue. Out of all three, which is the most budget friendly? On like the things that I just mentioned, the Thicket or the Instagel? Is that what we're talking about that? What percent did you just install on the windshield? This is a 35. 35 C2 carbon. Oh, the most cost-effective one is the one that you can DIY yourself. I didn't go out of my way. There's a product called Thicket, and there's quite a few other like powders that you mix into water, and then they'll create a gel. Now, like a gel, it's a water thickener, is basically like what they are. So, in like the cosmetics industry, nail polish isn't really effective if it's really runny, right? Same thing for paint. So there can be different additives added to that kind of stuff that'll give them a thickness. But it's like Thicket is something a student brought in. But he called it important tint. He had a bottle of important sauce. And then I think he changed it out and was using Thicket. But you can just tell you spray both of them side by side, they're different. But the Thicket would be the cheapest, yeah. It's just a powder that they sell in a store that's made for like thickening up baby foods and stuff. I think is the point of it. Ever used Dawn and a splash of alcohol? I've never mixed alcohol. Never really wanted to. I don't think it hurts anything. With a lot of the films that I've used, baby shampoo was honestly like plenty fine for years. And alcohol would just make things tack up faster. I would never, to me, I would just use less. But Dawn was a little too sticky for my liking with most of the films that I used. Like Dawn by itself. We have some good old TV on my vehicle. GeoShield material I used. Too expensive to put on my own. What? Live a little, man. Too expensive to put on my own. GeoShield material I use. Dude, you gotta live what you install. Then you gotta really get to know the products that you use. Which is like, when we started out with the store, we just had the stuff that I used because I liked it. Now we have more of a variety, but I know everything well enough to be able to talk about the differences. And like, people all have their like personal preference. So I'll say like, I don't like this squeegee. And then there'll be like 5 other people who are like, oh, it's my favorite. This is why I like it. So I've come to, like, I appreciate that. But I only install the films that I would have on my own vehicle, too. And then you live with them and you see what they're like every day. And you can talk with some more confidence about them. Dang. Oh, this is so clean. See, this, like, dude, I'm so happy with gels. I don't care what you use something. All around the mirror. Okay, you see those little speckles here? It's on the outside. It's a little dust. It's hard to get everything look like, because the camera exposure and shit. It always makes it look like it's dirty when I try and zoom into it. Dude, it's so freaking clean. It's so nice. I like it. Big fan. So yeah, whether you use Important Sauce, Instagel, Expel, 3M, any other gels, I don't care. If it doesn't hurt the window film, could you chisel? No, they're not there. That's what I'm trying to say. There's not like it looked like speckles. It's not. It's little like either fibers that get left behind from the towel, or it's also little fibers from wiping off the glass on the outside too. I'm just trying to like, when you get that light right, it makes it look like it's little dust and it's just my windshield is shitty. Oh, look at all that shit. It's not. I wish cameras could do it justice. Do you own the studio? I do. It's my shop. Oops. Can you give me some advice on my last comment? Can you repeat your comment because it is scrolling off the screen? I've been tinting for a very long time. I didn't think of gel. I won't take credit for it. I am so happy that is a thing now. It just gives you an incredible amount of consistency on windows that you would generally really struggle with. Quarter windows that have like the gasket seals, it just sticks in there, right? And then you're squeegeeing and it's pushing dirt out rather than letting it feed back in. Which is why I tend to like overspray things and use water as like more of a cleaning tool than the squeegees themselves. It's like I'll swipe the edge and then I'll blast it. What squeegee are you using for the door window and why? We're using the Tri-Edge Pros Blade. This is how slippery they are because the stuff started coming off of it, the lettering. Ooh, I'll print it. You know what I'll do? I'll do that. I'll take the rest of the lettering off and then I'll put my own lettering back on it. I have a UV printer now. I'll see how that sticks. But it's the Pros Blade wax. They're new. Tri-Edge makes them. Oh, that scared me. I saw like a little perfect line down there. And I'm like, oh no. Oh no. It was water. Matt, PPF my Tesla. I have a ton of rock chips on the front bumper. Do you think it'll be fine if I use touch-up paint? Use touch-up paint, and then you want to buff them back down. I know that much. I couldn't tell you exactly what products to use because I don't do it, but I was in some detailing places that did PPF alongside of our tinting, and lots of new cars would come in with a handful of rock chips. They had a paint matching kit. They just do a quick dab, heat gun dry it, and then they buff. So it's perfectly smooth, and then they PPF right over it. Don't hold me to that. That's the #1 perfect way to do it, but sounds right. That's what they did. What do you recommend between gel or soapy water? No. You use both. It's not one or. It's both. Okay, let me get a new bottle. Is this the orange? This looks orange. Or is this old? I don't know what this is. I'm just gonna empty it. I have an Instagel bottle. I gotta find it. But let's just do this. This is an Instagel jug, and we have important, and I'm gonna clean off a window, and I'm gonna give an example. Let me just make sure. No, and the thing is, repainting a bumper just to put PPF over it, like, then you have to wait for the, like, it's actually kind of annoying to get it resprayed and then put PPF over it. So, I'd honestly do one or the other. I don't know if that was what you're gonna say. Like, if I repaint it, it's just gonna stay repainted. I won't cover it. But if you repaint a bumper, that can come with drawbacks for PPFing it anyways. So I think you're going the right route by just touching it up and then PPFing over it. So I saw this cool demo video from the maker of Important, and it's a very, very good visual on what's going on. I mean, we did it on the windshield itself, but I need just a little bit of tape. So we've got some tape. Let's give ourselves a little bit more of a something like that.
It really isn't that. Well, it helps that it doesn't have a bottom molding, but it is worth destroying.
Cool. Just to clean it up a smidge, you know, because most windshields are that much higher on one side than the other. So we got some here. We're gonna put it to waste. Gonna empty this bottle out, and I'm going to get some Instagel fresh off the tap. Just had something else in it, so let's make sure that's out. This is really show the difference and show what's going on. So, both of them are good. Important sauce is going to be a little bit thicker than Instagel. So, let's spray Instagel first. But the point is, actually, let's do that. The point of it is, I spray the window, and then I take my squeegee, and I clean off the window, right? And we go around the mirror. But then, if I take my sprayer, and I spray all up here, I purposefully try to spray lighter. But even in doing so, you see how this water is running down? Right? So what that can do is that can just drag stuff out from up in here, and especially around here. It kind of like trails down, it'll funnel right down here. It can drag dirt in from the edges. So we clean it off. And we're still gonna use, let's just get that box super wet. We're still gonna use soapy water along with our gels. Again, this was important. No, sorry, this is Instagel. This is important. So if I spray this, see how it's a gel that just kind of stays? And then important is thicker and more jelly. So you can build up a thicker layer here. And then you can spray it. And what happens is they act as a barrier. So when your water would trail down into it, you don't even have to spray all the way up into it. But as your water would trail back down, this stays in place. So when you go to push back against it, it helps keep all that dirt and shit out of your window. And it can trap it in the gel. So you use it alongside of your slip solution. You don't need to add it into your slip solution. You don't dilute it. You just use it as is, clean off a window, hit the edges with gel, spray the rest of it with soapy water, and go about your install. So the biggest difference between an Instagel and an important sauce directly is important's going to be a little bit thicker and let you build up like a fatter layer. And so that can be really helpful on your like very dirty old cars, gasket seals and stuff like that. Instagel's a little thinner, so you're not going to get the same type of layer, but it's still going to work much better than just spraying soapy water. So translating that over into a vehicle like this is a lot of my day-to-day. Vehicles are generally pretty clean. Even if they have 5 years or so, they're really not that bad. So if something's like extremely dirty, then breaking out important sauce would probably be better for that situation. It'll be good for both situations, but you honestly got to weigh the costs a little bit too. If you don't care about it, then it doesn't matter. Instagel, we sell for $40. Important sauce is like $120, $130, somewhere in that range. So like personally, I just wouldn't use that kind of, I wouldn't use it as liberally. I would be, it's expensive. I would tend to spray a little bit less and use it sparingly. So that's why I'm really glad something like Instagel exists too. Just because it's a nice in between. But there are a bunch of them. Yeah, all types of price points now. It's very helpful. I don't care what one you use. Use any of them. Instagel's too costly. I feel that way. But just like I have different preferences and likes, other people do as well. It's nice to know that there is definitely like a tangible difference. I think that was the one thing that I was really unsure of, is because you hear a lot of like, oh, it's just this, oh, it's just that. I've tried a lot of the generic things that people say it is not. It is definitely unique enough. And like its own custom mixed, not bought off the shelf in a store. Now it might have something in it that people have mentioned. That I don't know. I never handed it over to a chemist. I just spray it and I look at what it looks like and how it lays, and it's like, oh yeah, it's definitely like not this. Even though those things are both gels. I see the same thing with tools though. Is like there's a lot of Amazon knockoffs with tools that look identical, and then you get them and you're like, oh no, these are totally different. And the same thing happens with film. Somebody's carbon film is going to be different from somebody else's carbon film. Ceramic, like everybody's products can have just like little small differences that you wouldn't really think of until you start to use them and really compare. So like I don't know what that shit has in it that makes it that expensive. I would hope it's not that expensive just because it is that expensive. I need to buy it for better results. It's not, none of them are magic. None of them are going to just make you into a better tinter. But just like people have preferences for squeegees and slip solutions and every type of product that's out there, you just might find something that just suits you better. Like there's no film I could sell you. There's no product that I could sell you that's just gonna take you and change everything overnight. It's still a difficult, skilled trade. And if you're interested in using it, I would 100% just pick it up and try it out. And then you can be your own best, like, oh, it was worth it, or oh no, I didn't really get the hype. I would just search it. There's a few distributors that have it. Nice. And that's a wrap. The Enclaved. This looks super nice. I'm very happy with this one. Why can't every day be an Enclave day? It's like me getting Malibus or something. It's just like, can I just have those days every day? Do both gels work well with silvering on the dot matrix? It will, both of them are gonna temporarily fill in the matrix and make it look seamless, and then it dries out. So nothing fixes it. I just need to use them for longer, because I like, we used it on our van, Insta-Gel on our van, and I have like the classic dot matrix around the mirror housing situation going on, and it dried out completely even. Now, what I'm not sure of is, does having gel there help it dry more even? I'm inclined to think so. When you squeegee around a dot matrix, part that makes it uneven is that air bleeds in from the side and then it starts to funnel into some areas and can stay sealed down in others. So if you even that all out, I would be inclined to think that it's at least gonna dry nice and even. So but if I use it over the course of like probably the next year or so, I'll be able to say a little bit better. But there's so many unique edge cases where sometimes this one dries out more even, sometimes this one doesn't, and I just haven't used it on that many different types of cars. But it's not going to fill in the dots, and the dots are just magically going to stay invisible. It'll dry out, and you'll still see the dots. But when you deliver the car right away, I mean, we did this one. The dots are invisible right now. Like, they're all nice and sealed down, and I don't see any silvering yet. But it will probably silver.
But they will have a similar type of frame to this, so there's no space.
Alrighty. How did you get your first client? My first client was just ads off of Facebook, and I just responded to a lot of people until I eventually got one. Why do you use a soft squeegee for the front and harder for the sides? I use both. So I usually start with a softer squeegee, and then I use a harder squeegee. But I use this on all the doors. Oh, the lettering is really toast. I'm going to print on this and see if it'll hold. Alrighty, I gotta take off. We might be streaming. We have a few sets of doors. It's not a crazy day. So we'll see how tomorrow goes. Bye.